Shanghai Securities News is reporting that authorities are looking to gradually lift purchase restrictions on new energy vehicles across regions. Now, that's according to their latest carbon reduction plan, which focuses on areas such as energy, industry, and transportation. There's another article out there that says that China's housing market is heating up since authorities rolled out a broad rescue package for the sector 2 weeks ago. The report says over 70 cities have introduced similar policies, including Guangzhou, Nanjing, and Shanghai. But the piece also sees some challenges on the horizon, including the financial burdens for some of these SOEs as they look to large-scale acquisitions.
Yep. Now, China's English language media are highlighting the State Council's report. A lot of details on this one, but effectively criticizing the U.S. and their human rights record there. Now, the report cites things like alleged racism, gun violence, political polarization as human rights violations there in America. Now, China has long pushed for its own definition of human rights and has been, of course, growing its influence in the UN Human Rights Council. For more context on this report, which, by the way, comes out annually here, Stephen Engel, our chief North Asia correspondent, is here with us. What is China trying to achieve? What's the answer to the big picture question?
Yeah, look, I mean, it's easy for me to come out here and maybe say, that's the pot calling the kettle black. But I look at these very separately, right? China can level these allegations against the United States, whether it's society or the police brutality or the border crisis or the drug problems. They can do that. And the United States has leveled many allegations against China, okay? I think the merits of such arguments stand on their own. So we can't say, well, China does this. How can they be doing a double standard by saying this? So let me just put that disclaimer out there. The fact is, and I've read through the extract of this, basically it was 35 or 30 pages of allegations about the United States saying, while a ruling minority in the United States holds political, economic, and social dominance, the majority of the ordinary people in the U.S. are increasingly marginalized, with their basic rights and freedoms being disregarded. Well, okay, that might be true, but put some attribution to this as well. I call on the State Council to do that. The U.S. is what it is, warts and all. It's an open book. A democracy is an open book. And social media and media is an open book. It's not censored necessarily. There's polarization in the U.S. media, obviously. And, human nature to take numbers that fit their narrative. And that's what essentially Beijing is doing. They're looking at the societal ills in the United States and using it for their own propaganda. That's just basic knowledge. That's what they're obviously doing. Now, in the U.S., this report says human rights is essentially a privilege enjoyed by only a few. But again, what's a few? Where's the attribution? That's my only criticism of this report. Because again, here's the last sentence that I will highlight. Nearly 3/4 of Chinese Americans had experienced racial discrimination in the past year. 55% feared hate crimes or harassment would jeopardize their personal safety. That means 5.4 million Chinese Americans in America. That means 4 million. Again, they're not attributing any of this data to any survey or anything. So you have to take these kind of things a little bit with a grain of salt, but also understand there are problems in the United States, for sure.